Justin Michael is the first car out, I believe, after I guess the top three stayed out.
And really, the way the cautions have been falling so far early in the race, I don't think that was a horrible move. Has potential.
Now that might be a smart move. They're anticipating more cautions. But they also got to look at the attrition rate as we get these cars. There's a lot of cars out there with damage, and they're going to be running slow, and that might actually start cleaning this race up a little bit.
Good point. Good point.
I think we started the field with less than 43 tonight too. We start with 35, so yeah, that's going to bring us down to probably, I would say, probably 25 cars without damage at this point. Will be interesting to see how the tire wear is on these cars. I kind of want to see if that outside lane will come in as well. Since we are running the older version of Atlanta, sometimes we get multiple lanes going here and some good driving. Some guys that have managed to manage that right front and not overcook it can get around this track in all different manners.
Yeah, so if you think about the new Atlanta, that'd basically be the white line would be more or less at the lowest black seam on the track, minus the front straightaway. That's a fairly decent representation of where the new track is.
Yeah, higher banking at Atlanta. They've redid the entire track. What a project, man. I was listening to SiriusXM, the godfather of Mr. Dave Moody, and fans just raving about the changes that NASCAR are making and just the bold moves that they're making all around to make the sport better and not just kind of staying in the same rut that they have been for the last arguably 30 years, But what an entertaining race that was yesterday.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I know one of their goals is they weren't getting the turnout at Atlanta that they had in years past, even though it's a really popular track with the drivers. So one of their motives was to get the fans back in the seat, so to speak.
Yeah, I was texting with the guys from Bandit Motorsports yesterday during the race. We had kind of a team chat going, and I literally said, "Fans in the stands at Atlanta? Like, question mark? What's that about?" So.
Well, we're entering turn 3. The lights are out of the pace car. We're about to take them green. So, our top 5, Greg Mall, Jack Watts, Greg Well, and Eric Talent, James 00 Brown. Those guys didn't pit, I believe. The first one out there that's off the pits is going to be Justin Michael, and he's all the way back in 14th.
Wow, it's going to be impressive to see if those guys can make their way through the pack here as we look at Eric Talent. Let's go on board with Eric Talent here from the roof cam. This is home track here, starting 4th, Atlanta, Georgia. Green flag is out here, lap number 17 on the boards here. Great start here with single file out the top 3.
Yeah, I'm looking at the outside lane there of Greg Well, and he just stayed on the outside. I wonder if that's going to be his strategy, looking for the lead on the outside there.
Yeah, look at him just rail it in there in turn 3 on the high side. Awesome run off the corner if he can make it stick. Doesn't break the back end loose, and battle for the lead here. Lap number 18, give it to Greg Well, and awesome battle up front here.
He's got it.
What do you think these guys behind him are going to think?
There you go, Scott. I was wondering if anybody was going to use a different line there.
Right? The problem is he's now showing his cards, right, this early in the race, that everybody behind him has obviously seen that move. And how many guys? Let's look back in the back here a little bit.
He's still committed to the top, though.
Oh, yeah. If it worked once, it'll work again. Speaking of cars moving up, Jeffrey Merck on the outside of Eric Talent, looking to make it 3 wide, thinks better of it, tucks in line here with James 00 Brown in that Retro Cup series. He's our admin for that series on Sunday nights. On the inside there, Eric Talent, great run back here with, remember, Jeffrey Merck on fresh tires back here.
Well, great minds think alike, because that's exactly where I went to. I wanted to see how those guys were making out that went into the pits through this traffic. And right now, they're not actually able to move their way back up front there. Justin Michael just behind Jeffrey Merck, as he said. Jeffrey Merck looking for a hole between the 5 and the 00 car. Can't find it.
Back up front here with this battle for the lead. Man, I thought this wasn't going to be super speed racing, but these top 10 or so cars cannot get away from each other for sure.
Yeah, and while we were talking there, I was just looking at the 95 of Charles Widener, and he got a little loose. Had to check up, lost probably 3 or 4 positions. Finds himself now maybe just outside the top 10. Actually,
yeah,
in
15th.
15th.
Yeah. Charlie Widener, I believe. Is it Widener or Widener? Do we know?
I think it's Widener.
Widener? All right, we'll go with Widener.
Unfortunately for him, I always want to say Widener. Sounds like a fine beer, you know?
Speaking of beers, I got to say, what are we drinking tonight, guys?
I'm doing the usual. I'm having a 14-ounce Guinness.
Got a Jack and Coke going.
Jack and Coke, that's one of my go-tos.
Pretty enjoyable Jack and Coke. Watching P13 Christopher Davis. Just behind him, Charles Widener once again, and John Pansula. Quite the battle.
John Pansula, always a fan favorite. He's one of the nicest guys out there. Every time we join the race and get a new paint scheme or something, John's one of the first ones to make a comment on him, and always one of those guys in a happy mood. So good to see John out here. And that Pepsi, I think that's a new paint scheme. I don't think I remember seeing that one here in the Cup Series. So awesome looking car there.
We got a lot of the side-by-side racing running up there in the top 10 now. I just went up to James 00 Brown, who also had a good night last night there, Matt, in those 87 cars. Finished third, I believe, third or second.
He did. That was a great run.
He's having a good run tonight. He's up to ninth, holding that position, doing really good, running up there with the leaders right now.
Yeah. Christopher Davis continuing to march forward from that battle with Pansula and Widener.
Back in 13th right now, looking double wide in front of him. See if there's a hole. What do you think? Do you think we can pull off 3 wide here or not?
Yeah, I think they can do it. We got some talented drivers in here. Maybe they got the wrecks out of their system. And meanwhile, while we said that, looks like Wesley Holland got a little loose, had to check up, and lost a few positions there. Was drifted back now, just about to 10th, I'm gonna guess.
No, has not drifted back. Is Jeffrey Merck off of turn number 4, battle for the lead with Justin Michael outside now. Maybe he thinks better of it. Putting the pressure on Greg Wellen here up with old tires here. 3 wide off of turn number 2 for the lead. There it is.
Woo! Not much room there.
That was tight. Oh, and then we got some shenanigans going on just behind them.
Eric Talon, I think that was in the wall, maybe scraping the wall for turn 4.
Yeah, 18's getting under him, and just behind that, looks like we got Christopher Davis sneaking into that picture.
Mark is not taking no for an answer. Great looking car. Project Healing Waters on the nose of it, a non-profit for veterans that are disabled to fly fish. Great hood that he's got there, but he is not taking no for an answer. Those top 3 might be the best in show.
That's
and
where
Greg,
the action is.
I'm really impressed with Greg Wellen on those old tires, just doing a fantastic job up there. Yeah, he's giving up the lead, but he's holding pretty strong so far.
That is impressive, especially for a place like Atlanta. When I think of the top 3 tracks where tire wear matters, Old Atlanta, Darlington, what's another good one for tire wear? But those are
geez.
Definitely the top 2,
me to think
right?
on the fly.
See, not everything's scripted
Rockingham,
here.
which we don't run anymore,
Rockingham,
but I guess that's coming
one.
back.
Yeah. See, you're aging yourself, Ken. I didn't even throw that one out there for you.
Rockingham was always a track that I always thought about tire wear.
I'll tell you, one of the things he's doing is being so efficient with the car on the entry. You see him not cutting across the track, he's rolling it on the top, letting the car roll till the nose naturally drops, and then running the exit as though he's not even turning the wheel. Just like Ken talked about earlier, standing on the right rear with the big stagger number, a low spring rate on the left rear.
Matt, are you talking about Jeffrey Merck here?
Yep.
Yeah, in second place here. We're on board right now, so you can see a little
Greg
bit of...
Greg Wellen in third place. I was watching his line. He's doing an impeccable job of those tires.
Yeah. Actually, we're on board right now with Greg Wellen. I'm noticing a little bit of right front damage on that car. Wonder where you picked that from. That was recent, but man, put that in his book here. Over 15 laps more on the tires than these guys up front, holding on third place strong with right front damage.
I'm actually kind of curious now that I might have not seen what I thought I seen. He might have taken 2 tires. Without going back and look, that might be one of the things that's allowed him to stay up there. And then he might have had a wall smack to get that damage up there as
We're
well.
back here in 4th spot with Ken Richardson, that 16 car, yellow and black. On the top side, Greg Mall, one of our new welcomees. I think this is his maybe 4th race in the Cup Series here in the Multi-League Series, but strong driver there.
Just having a gander back through the field here, Scott, looking up. Got Mark Billen, Rob Haynes. Rob Haynes, who was fast, kind of mired back there, just outside the top 15. Now finds himself probably going back to 18, drifting back, getting past there by Rob.
Like 18, as say Rob Haynes on the inside. Great battle back here. And Rob Haynes in that beer store car. It's one of my favorite. I was complimenting him earlier on tonight when I saw that car. Man, he paints his own cars, and he looks super sharp out there.
Yeah, and he almost tried to pull a slide job there in front of. I'm losing track of my cars here. That 2 car. Yeah, Mark Billen. And didn't work, and the car got a little loose and shaky, and can't quite get that pass pulled off.
So let's talk fuel mileage in this race. Like we mentioned briefly in the beginning of the broadcast, 32 to 36 laps is the estimate I got. We're on lap 32 right now. Granted, we have a couple cautions under our belt here early on the race, but that should gain them a couple more laps potentially. But I think in the next 2, maybe 3 laps, should start to see some pit stop action here.
Yeah, for sure. At least for those guys that didn't pit. I know that 3 of them didn't pit, but I'm kind of wondering what I actually seen. And like I said, with Greg Welland doing so well, still in 3rd. He's doing really well, and I'm kind of wondering if he took 2 tires.
Yeah, I'm back here in 6th place right now with Wesley Holland. Riding that high side, I think he took a note out of Greg Welland's notebook here. And as I say that, of course, he goes to the inside of Ken Richardson, but great job by Wesley Holland here, battling for a top 5 spot for turn number 4.
Back here looking at the 77 of Jack Watts and the 18 of Brian Bazell. Those 2 guys have been going side by side for the last couple of laps. I thought Brian was able to get by him on the outside there, but that 77 is able to keep it down there and get enough of momentum off the turns here. But they're just lap after lap, side by side. Neither one of them can seem to get the advantage.
Get down in turn number 3 here. Jack can get on the inside. I think that outside is starting to become the place to be, right? Early on in this race, it seemed like the bottom lane was where everybody wanted to single file out, but I'm seeing mid-track is more popular than not right now.
Yeah, I know Greg Welland can be a pretty fast driver, and the fact that he chose that outside just right off the bat, he might know something that some of these other drivers might not be aware of. And get some fresh tires on that car, he might be somebody we're going to be talking about here at the end of this race.
Yeah, Scott, if you jump into the cockpit of Merc, if you get the camera guy to do it, as he's going into 1 and 2, you drive down the front straightaway, he's got a little bit of air off the nose because he can still sniff that draft just a little bit. As he drives in, watch, he's going to roll off throttle. He's going to let the car roll in. The nose is going to drop itself. And when he gets on throttle, he's actually going to open the wheel up and counter steer almost on that car. These 2 leaders are super fast, and they're both running the same line.
Yeah, talk about efficient teammates too, nonetheless. I'm sure they're trading strategies, trading techniques, and training pit stops is in terms of communicating when they're going to stop together so there's no mishaps here coming to pit road, which I'm sure is going to be a big key in today. I expect several green flag stops here.
Speaking of green flag stops, we're probably coming up on that window for those guys that didn't pit. So
do we know who didn't? We think that Greg Welland took 2 tires, right? Which means he probably took a full tank of gas, presumably. He was in the lead on that restart, which tells me that pretty much everybody in that last yellow pitted. Correct me if I'm wrong. So.
Yeah, that might be true. I just could have swore I've seen 3 cars out there, but my timing and scoring hasn't been live yet, so that's kind of hard for me to keep track of right now.
Gotcha.
I meant to fix that, Scott, but guess I didn't get to it.
Here we go. Ken Richardson, 16, coming in this time. He's running in P7 back here. Run down low on the back stretch with his hand out the window, letting everybody know. 16 in, probably a couple more coming in. Let's go, I don't know, let's go cockpit off of turn number 4. Ken Richardson coming to pit road. Greg Welland right in front of him. Whoa's up. Oh, outside in the grass. Man, those are the mistakes that you can't afford.
Yeah, the brakes on this car, once you get down to the slower speeds, these brakes are very difficult to manage, and that's probably exactly what happened. you get on that apron, you get on the brakes, and there's nothing there, so you push harder and harder, and then pretty soon it's locked up and you slide off into the grass there.
Let's try another one. I think Brian Abbott this time, turn 3 and 4 in that 82 sharp-looking car. I think he's going to come to pit road this time. There you see him on the apron. A couple cars in front of him. Eric Talent looks like. James 00 Brown smoking them. Eric Talent and Jack Watts as well coming to pit road. Hopefully everybody got up to speed by that yellow cone. 7 of Greg Mall up here inside on the backstretch coming in this time. Looks like Wesley Holland strong on that outside, and that 41 staying out this time. Greg Wellen and that Miller, I forget what the name of that Miller beer is, but that's a sharp looking car there.
It is.
Tell you guys watching the 2 leaders now running in one, Justin Michael and Jeffrey Dean Merck. And both of those boys are hard left and right on the wheel. These tires are getting old. These cars are getting loose. They got to be in shortly.
There you can see it there off of turn 2. From the TV camera, you can even see the entire car wiggle there off of turn 2.
Yeah.
So they are fighting the wheels for sure.
Wesley
Swatting
Holland.
flies, that they say, right?
Correct. Wesley Holland, I think, just gave the signal. He is headed towards pit lane.
There we see it off of turn 4. Wesley Holland. Freaky Fast, Jimmy John's, Kevin Harvick themed car.
Unusual position for Wesley Holland. He seems to be struggling a little bit tonight, Scott. Normally we see him no stranger to the lead, but kind of struggling the first part of this race.
This is true. Let's go back in the field a little bit. Let's talk about, I don't know, Wally Tierhammer in 75, back in 15th spot here. Still 29 laps on his tire, so it looks like he's definitely pitted at the last caution. And the Dutch Bros coffee car. So I'll tell you, Ken, I think we were shooting the breeze before the race started, and I was telling you I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and Tucson, Arizona this past week. That's why we had no broadcast last week, but nonetheless, out there I knew I was not in the Northeast when I literally passed a Dutch Bros coffee station on the road, and I texted Wally. I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm in the Northeast anymore.
Did you try one is the big question.
No, coffee is not for me.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, they make other steaks. They make foo-foo stuff there, too.
I don't know. If it's not Coke or bourbon or a hamburger, I don't know if I'm interested.
Coca-Cola, by the way.
So it's interesting
Coca-Cola,
that
thank you, Matt. Not the...
our leaders is staying out so far. So, Scott, what do you think, you know, when they finally do come in, for some of these guys that are pitted, like especially Greg Wellen and some of these other fast guys, going to be making time on these guys that have stayed out there. So I wonder what the strategy is with these 2 guys.
You know what? You say that. I'm looking at lap times. Let's look at last lap times.
I'm going to say they can afford some of this. There's a fair number of laps they can run where they're clean, they're together, they're not going to step over each other in pits.
I think these 2 guys are headed to pit lane right now.
Yeah, watching off of turn 4 here. Justin Michael does dip to pit road. Again, the communication, great team communications. Jeffrey Merck goes to the outside, stays out one more lap. Let's compare lap times real quick, just to put in perspective here. Greg Mall, Greg Wellen, those guys last lap just ran a 31.8 and a 31.7. Jeffrey Merck and Justin Michael just put down 32.2s. So we're talking about roughly a half a second every lap that they're out there, they're giving up to the leaders. Jeffrey Merck in the 60 car we just heard on the radio, going to be coming in this time.
That will allow both these guys, especially Jeffrey Merck and Justin Michael, to short pit if they wish. I also noticed that the 88 car of I wanted to say that was Kyle Chadwick, but I don't even see Kyle Chadwick tonight.
It is not. I'll tell you exactly who that is. That is Christopher Howell 2.
I guess Kyle Chadwick is a 088 car.
No, you're right. So look at your standings, Ken, or you don't have access to your standings, right? Is that not working tonight for you?
Yeah, no, I have access to it. It's just it's not showing correctly, I guess.
Yeah. So we had some issues earlier tonight with Chris Howell with the correct paint, but he's got it now with the AC Delco 306. I'd like to personally welcome him to the league. He's running, looks like he's down at least in the Bandit Motorsports team speak. I don't know if he's officially on that team or not, but he's certainly in radio communication with that crew. Started in the top 5 tonight, and great run here.
Christopher Davis finally calling his pit. He's coming down this time.
Yeah, and what I was watching here is Justin Michael now finds himself the first car lap down, and so you know he's hoping and praying that these guys can hold it clean so he can get back on the lead lap.
It is true, and I'm looking at Justin Michael. Looks like he just unlapped himself, probably as these guys all come to pit road. There's a whole slew of cars coming down. Here we see Christopher Davis right now.
So if I'm these guys, I'm just going to run clean and easy here for the rest of the run. I'm hoping that there's no cautions and these tires are going to work themselves out, and I'm going to continue to run those 32 flats that these guys are running prior. 32 1s, 32 2.
Currently, Charles Widener finds himself in the lead as he heads to pit lane. Oh, I thought he was going to.
I think he did, right? Oh, he's on pit
Yeah,
lane.
it looked like he just got off the apron there a little bit, but he's on pit lane now. Get some 4 bad boys on that and some fuel, get back out.
And I think this might cycle the lead, possibly to Billy Bumgardner. Great guy here from Charlotte, North Carolina. Started 27th. How about that for a big mover of the race? Up 25 spots. Currently running second right now.
Heck of a job.
And right now, our current leader heading to pit lane, Jason Hughes in that 58 car.
Ooh, he's
Manages to
smoking
pull
it in.
up.
Nice job.
Smoking in the SRX car.
Yeah, we should be just about cycled around here, Scott, next time by, I'm thinking.
All right. Take a look here.
Mark
Got,
on the bottom of the 41 car. Nice clean move. He comes up. He's clear. Check another. Oh, Mark goes through the grass. Oh,
That's a
Lord.
good time to call that, Matt. We got to see some action there.
Oh, Lord, he saved it. I bet you his knuckles are super white.
Yeah, Dunn pulled that seat cushion up in the up there so tight that holding on for dear life.
It's really fascinating now. I think this is going to be a really interesting finish if this stays green. My goal is to show the fans here some awesome racing and strategy if we can bring the picture to them. But you guys, Ken Huber, Matt LaVenture, are 2 of some of the best in terms of strategizing and putting an entire race together from start to finish. You guys know what I'm talking about when it comes to fuel mileage, tire strategy, short pitting, and it should be really interesting how these shuffle out here. Because right now I'm trying to make sense of this, but we're looking at Greg Wellen in 5th, who has the most laps on his tires. Greg Mall up in front of him in 4th place here. And then Jeffrey Merck. Great stop by Jeffrey Merck. I'm showing only 5. He's probably in one of the best spots here. Jeff Merck only 5 laps on his tires right now. In
He'd probably be in the lead right now, Scott, if it wasn't for his incident there.
I think he got a little excited.
Yeah, and you also you're cutting yourself short there, Scott. You're one of the best strategists out there too. So we all race together. You know how to get it done here. I'm back here looking at the 94 of Greg Wellen. We talked about him earlier running that outside lane, but he's got a lot of damage on the rear end of that car now that he didn't have before. So that's not going to help his situation.
Yeah, I think that came from the pit road incident. Remember we were on the roof cam of, I forget who it was, Eric Talent, I want to say, but I'm not positive. Clipped the right rear coming to pit road just at the speed cone. So fortunately for Greg, though, no speeding penalty. So I think that's a best case scenario here. Still running top 5. So right front damage, right rear damage, 2 tires on the first stop. Still pulling off top 5, up 9 spots from a starting position of P14. Great job, Greg Wellen.
He's an animal. This is certifiable Red Bull money. When they did the airplane swap, like the 2 guys parachute out of there, this guy is in that boat.
There he is.
I'm gonna say, sorry to cut you off. I'm gonna say Merck. I agree, he's in the catbird seat, and if I'm his crew chief, I'm telling him, slow up, roll up, just relax, don't use the tires, be really efficient. That's what I'm telling Merck, and I think he's in the catbird seat. He's my pick for tonight.
Is it because you like his strategy and speed, or is it because of the sponsor, Matt?
I mean, both, but I really like where he is on the track. He's got the opportunity to slow down and leave Justin Michael kind of wondering what's happening. And on both fronts, he a little bit using tires, you're losing fuel. So I think that's where I'd sit without him being the sponsor, but I especially like him with him being the sponsor.
I think we can make it official. So lock him in. Jeffrey Mark, Matt LaVenture's pick. just halfway through the race right now, just a little over halfway. Ken, I'm taking, hopefully not your pick, but I got to go with our race leader right now, Justin Michael. I know personally how strong he is on these mile-and-a-halves. Fuel mileage, green flag racing falls right into his wheelhouse. Jeffrey Michael in that Beretta Toyota Camry up front. Gonna stay out there all night.
You guys are picking the safe bets. You know who I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick Rob Hayes. He's back there in 7th. He's actually 10 seconds behind, but the reason I'm picking him, he seems to have got it back together here and starting to march his way to the front. Now, I do believe he's going to need a caution to pull this off, but if we get that caution and he continues on the march up front, I'm going to hold out for Rob Hayes.
Like we were talking earlier, he's got some momentum on his side, right? Took the checkered on Tuesday, took the checkered on Thursday, and looking strong here tonight in the top 10.
Does look good.
This battle right now is talking about Rob Haynes, and let's got one behind Brian Bazell from Denton, North Carolina. Started in, started 10th, currently running 8th. This battle right now we're looking at is 10 seconds off the lead of Justin Michael.
And just behind them, Brian Abbott in that 82 started in 33rd up to 9th. Kind of been quietly moving his way up front there. Nice looking car in that 3rd rock car, I believe.
That is true. 33rd to 9th. Talk about big movers. I think he is, I'm scanning down the list right now, he is officially the biggest mover of the race. 24 spots. Smokes everybody out of the water. Awesome job, Brian Abbott.
Currently only 17 cars on the lead lap. We're past halfway, Scott, so we've crossed that threshold. So these guys are starting to put it down. We mentioned it earlier. We had a couple of quick cautions early in the race, damaged a lot of cars, and now we're seeing those green flag runs. So I think some of those guys that stayed out early after the first 2 cautions, thinking that we might see more cautions, might have paid a price.
Let's talk about a little sleeper here. We're gonna go 8th position, Brian Bazell. I'm looking at lap times. Just put down a 31.6, which is the fastest lap on the entire field. 3/10 faster than our current leader. Brian Bazell with only 12 laps on his tires. He was one of the late runners here, late pitters on that last round of green flag stops. Little right front damage, a little crinkle, maybe a little more downforce. What do you think?
It's possible. He's running that outside lane on Rob Haynes there. Kind of just following Rob. Maybe that draft is helping him out with that damage. Probably needs a little bit of air. If you look just ahead of Rob Hayes, you got Greg Wellen falling into Rob Hayes' view here. Got a lap car of Bill Paradise mixed in there, that black 556 car.
There's good old Bill Paradise. There he is. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, started 31st, up a few spots in 19th, 1 lap down right now.
I just watched Wesley Holland get up off turn 4. That car was a full-on rally car for about 300 feet. He did a great job keeping it together.
Let's go cockpit with Wes Holland, see if we can get some fly swatting off of turn 4. As the RPMs redline into turn 3. You can hear them on and off. Man, these guys are really pedaling that thing, huh?
He had a couple of clean laps, and he had one that he got a little away from him.
I'm looking at lap times again. Merck a few laps ago was running about a 0.5 quicker than Justin Michael. This time lost about 0.2 to Justin Michael. So this battle right now, we're looking at Wesley Holland on board. Jeffrey Merck up ahead is in 2nd. And then Justin Michael is 2.8 seconds in front of this battle here for 2nd.
Yeah, it looks like we've settled into cruise mode right now, Scott. Everybody's kind of just running decent lines, not really racing each other too hard. Kind of just managing what they got, waiting for that final pit stop, because I believe that's all we're going to need to get this race accomplished.
I think you're right. We're coming up on, how's my math? 40 to go, right? 41 to go? Which, yeah, you're right. About another 10 laps. These guys pit another green flag, and then it might be interesting, Ken. So let's strategize with me here for a minute. 40 laps to go. They can do, let's call it 35 laps on a tank. So anywhere in the next 5 laps, this pit window could open for some guys who want to maybe short pit and get some fresh tires and get some track position in hopes of maybe a yellow falling in the last quarter of this thing. and get some track position, and then get some more fresh tires. Then they're back on the even playing field with the rest of the leaders.
Yeah, and I think that might be a good strategy for those guys that are kind of struggling right now. I'm back here looking at Greg Wellen, getting passed now by Rob Haynes. Guys like Greg Wellen is kind of suffering right now on older tires, and that damage, that might be a good strategy for those guys. You know, at this point, they're watching their race slip away from them. It might be a wise strategy.
Kind of like, you know, you're not going to beat them doing exactly what they're doing, so you got to kind of take some risks and put yourself out there.
I've also watched a couple of drivers change their lines. In the last few laps, pretty keen on them watching the passing game going on, moving high. We're talking about Brian Bazell. He obviously went low for that last pass, but Bill Paradise, he dropped to the bottom, looking around Wellen, and he's been kind of making distance, but not. He's trying something different, though, just like you said, Scott. These guys are trying different things to get the cars to go a little faster, and maybe a slide job. Slide job!
Here you see Bill Paradise. Maybe these cars are a little aero dependent as well. You see, and we're looking at Bill Paradise right now, but those three lead lap cars in front of him, we're all taking the high side in turn 1 and 2. Now you see Greg Wellen on the top side there, but Bill Paradise, I think he's keen on what the cars are doing in front of him, and he's willing to adapt as he makes the corner entry to wherever that car is not, so we can get some clean air on the nose of that Ford Mustang.
I moved back up to the leader of Justin Michael. Kind of dealing with a lap car right now. It looks like a Wally Turheimer. We mentioned him earlier. Can't really see the number on that car because it's a fancy paint job on that car for sure. But hasn't been able to get around that lap car, so that lap car might have a little bit fresher tire. Justin Michael's just following in behind. Can't make anything happen with it. But Justin Michael has actually opened up quite a lead, a 3.5 second lead over Jeffrey Mark in second.
That's my pick. But that lap car that you're looking at, Ken, is that John Henderson? Is the black car? It's hard to see the number because it's.
I thought it was Wally Tillhammer. It might be John Henderson.
Yeah, Wally's in the red, white, and blue Dutch Bros.
You're right. It
John
is
Henderson
John
mowed the
Henderson.
grass.
My mistake. It's the 111 of John Henderson. And Justin Michael does get by, as we were talking about.
Burke is pushing like a dump truck. It's just been in the car for a couple laps. Poor Merck. Those front tires are shot. They're not going to work. I'm interested to see how he...
If he'd keep it off the grass once in a while.
Yeah, I've been sitting with Merck for a couple laps, just watching him. He seemed like he had a good start to the run, but at the end of this thing, it is not turning left whatsoever.
That's pretty common. I don't want to say common, but Merck, I got to give my compliments to Merck. So Merck hit me up for we did some driving lessons together, and we went back and forth, shot some ideas back and forth, and his game has risen higher than the most improved driver by far over the last year. You talk about Jeffrey Mark. He was kind of always that guy that ran like 10th, 15th, maybe if he could stay out of trouble, maybe a top 5 finish. But man, talk about strategy and putting an entire race together from start to finish. Most improved driver in my book by far, Jeffrey Mark. Stone River Outfitters.
Like to get that sponsor. So, well, guess what? We are in that pit window, I believe. So at any point, if these guys want to start short pitting, oh, I just seen the green car of 18. It looks like just get sideways. I think he saved it. They're still green. Trying to track that down, but
I don't know where he is. Brian Bazell.
There's on
Brian
the wall.
Bazell.
Great save by Brian.
Yeah, that car
Off
was
the wall.
completely
We're going to
shot.
do a live replay right now just because, oh, there we go. Look at that. Off of turn number 2, high pushing. We talked about how these tires get tight there, Matt. We were talking about Jeffrey Mark, Brian Bazell as well, in the wall there off of turn 2. Big damage down the entire right side of that. I want to say Interstate Batteries. I'm not sure what let's go in for a closer look here. What is that sponsor?
Serv
Pro.
Got our first taker to pit lane, the 7 car of Greg Mall, headed to pit lane as we speak.
That might be a big changer there. Greg's going to make some time. I mean, he
There's
lost
another car
lap.
just ahead of him. It might be Christopher Howell. Nope, I'm just looking through the field here. Might have been a lap down car. It was down on pit lane. Christopher Hall now is giving the indication he's headed to pit lane. He's our third place runner right now. In that 88 car, another 88 car.
Yeah, so that's the one I was telling you about, Ken, where it's actually the 306 AC Delco car. I'm sure you're not seeing it because he came in with the wrong car, but he's got the right car now. Quick vinyl wrap swap during practice. And down pit road right now, we're looking at Christopher Howell. This is, I don't know if it's his first race completely in the Multi-League Cup Series, but certainly in the Cup Series. I'm not sure about if he's raced any other races with us, but welcome, Christopher Howell. Solid
welcome, Christopher.
Run here.
Having a great run, being his first time too, up there in the top 5. Got a little bit of damage on that car as well. Doing a great job.
Chris Davis, I've been harping on him the entire race. He's been a pretty steady march.
There you see him from Delhi, Ontario. He's one of our Canadians here. See him down low in turn 1 and 2. Started 20th, currently running 4th.
Well, we were talking there, the 87, Justin Michaels on pit lane, getting all 4 tires on that car. Jeffrey Merck headed now into pit lane, get their services done, get back out.
There's just a ton of action to follow here. We're going to follow it the best we can here. I turn on the chat here, so you're going to hear it live as we hear it in our own ears as these cars call out. It is a requirement here in multi-league that they do call out when they're coming to pit road to avoid any incidents on the track.
Lead.
Oh, I don't. My leader button is not working for some reason, Ken. I don't know.
95, 95.
Rob Hayes now our leader headed pit lane, I believe. Currently, he's still going to need that caution probably to pull this off.
Sharp looking car, nonetheless, including those white rims. I really like the white rims.
Oh, in the dirt behind him. Who's that?
Yeah, I think that was Loretto Lakes.
Yep.
I'm just used to that purple car. I'm not 100% sure, but I
if
see
it's purple
it's probably wrecking on the back.
Loretto
It's a
Lakes.
standout.
I'm hearing that they're wrecking on the back. You heard it with us. No caution yet.
Still green, yep. I didn't hear, looking for what might have happened there. Everybody looks like they're going.
See some smoke, but nothing yet.
Man, it gets busy when these cars pit. Good Lord. You got cars pitting, coming out, all kinds of stuff.
Man, at least you guys don't have to run the cameras.
Later.
Yeah, no kidding. We can just tell you where to go.
Looking at Billy Bumgarner right now, running second. He's one of those that have not pitted yet, so hoping for a late caution. Man, that caution would have fallen right in his wheelhouse if that yellow flag did come out on the back road, on the back stretch there.
You guys must be really getting loose. Every time they come off turn 2 there, they're getting down towards the apron there. I'm looking at
Bert goes through the grass.
again.
Bert
There he is.
wrecking
In
the
the
car.
wall.
Oh,
Hit the car. Golly, the owner is
Saves
mad.
it, stays under green.
The owner is mad.
How much is that going to cost you, Maddie?
who picked Jeffrey Merckton?
Golly, the size of $25,000 Fender. Don't worry about it.
But I'm going to go up front here with Jeff Gilmore. Jeff Gilmore, let's see, from New Brunswick, Canada, started 17th, up 16 spots, 17 spots. In the lead right now, one of those that I believe is coming to pit road as we speak, but he's usually in the Miller car, which I'm personally a fan of because I was always a Rusty Wallace fan growing up. Right now in the Jerky Pro 57 Chevy.
Just behind him, that incident with Jeffrey Merck. He's on pit lane to get that car repaired. Tough night for Jeffrey Merck. Been kind of struggling all season, as I mentioned at the top of the race. Kind of maybe a difficult adjustment for him with these cars.
Yeah.
Billy Bumgarner, though, man, he is on a mission. He's trying. Good old tires, as little fuel as he can. He's trying.
Right now, we're looking at Billy Bumgarner out front, 32 laps on his tires. We'll go to second place, give it to John Henderson, 33 laps on his tires, and then we cycle back to third place, running right now, Justin Michael, who's the first one out on fresh tires. So. Let's give Billy Bumgarner some TV time while he's up front. What do you say?
Let's do it. Watch him coming. He's coming to pit lane next time by, I believe.
He done his part.
Got the TV dollars. That's all that counts.
That's it. That's it. That's his job. John Henderson out front. He's just about to make that road out. He just barely does. Justin Michael cycles right back into the front.
I actually could see the numbers on his car that time when he came into pit lane, that 111.
I felt like I could see the roof numbers, the 111, but I didn't see any door numbers. Maybe, I don't know. It's my old age sight. So let's cycle back to Justin Michael here in the lead. Wesley Holland picking up the pace here in second place. Looking at 3.7 seconds behind Justin Michael. And then let's back it up another couple seconds back to Greg Mall here in the 7 car. Miller Fortune, that's the word I was looking for. Miller Fortune, sharp looking car there. You see
it is
close.
a good looking car for sure.
Who painted that thing?
I wonder. 88 car just behind Greg Mullen, that 7 car, the 88 car of. Wow, I just lost track of.
Remember we talked about that one, Ken?
Yeah.
It's a 306.
And my scoring just went away on me.
Oh boy.
Oh, you know that's what it is. We talked about it, and I've got a different timing in scoring what his car number is. That's what the problem is.
I gotta say, from a cameraman standpoint, this is a heck of a lot easier. Remember Ken earlier in the season when we'd like interview a driver, and then that driver would wreck and cause the next yellow, or be involved in the next yellow, right?
Yep. But we broke that because I think one of the drivers we talked to finally pulled one off and didn't wreck. So I was like, okay, our jinxing people is over.
This is true. I want to say it was Rob Haynes, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, I think it was Rob Haynes.
And in addition to, maybe we just need to take a week off, right? We took last week off, we got some things fixed up here and refreshed and ready to go. Seen some awesome racing here in Atlanta.
So currently we're sitting with 13 cars now on the lead lap. We've been green ever since the second caution, which is probably around lap 10 or so, and we've been clean and green ever since.
I'm going to drop back to 10th or 12th place rather. John Pansula started 21st, lead lap, about to go a lap down though, unfortunately, with Justin Michael here. But I thought the John Pansula hang on this long lead lap, only running 12th. Like I said, 12 cars on the lead lap, and make it 11 now.
That leaves James 00 Brown, the next victim to fall to Justin Michael, and. James 00 Brown is probably hoping he's in that 00 car, that retro clip car, I guess it is, a retro cup car.
Retro cup.
Yeah, that's his series that he runs on Sunday nights. Sunday nights he runs the 87 cars and the 79 Indy cars.
Phew, they're 2 tough cars to drive. How about Christopher Davis though? Again, I'll harp on him. Back into the top 10. Started 20th. This kid is marching. He's done a great job all night. Very consistent. Definitely somebody to watch here at the end. Maybe a top 5 if we're crossing fingers.
Yeah, currently running night from Delhi, Ontario, Canada.
Just listening, it sounds like Ryan Abbott is on his way to pit lane, so he's going to give up that 7th spot. Get his final pit stop in for the night. I think he was staying out there hoping for a caution, never got it. Now he's got to get her done.
There, see him down pit road here. Stops in his box, doesn't overrun it. Great job. Right side goes up.
And as you were mentioning there, Matt, that's going to put Christopher Davis up in the first spot. Now, Christopher Davis last season, he didn't do a lot of qualifying. He would start in the back and just slowly work his way up front, kind of like what he's done tonight. He started in 20th, so he did qualify, but been quietly moving up, gaining 12 spots on the night.
It's kind of the cool move, right? The quiet sniper, but you got to be careful because you get enough quiet snipers out back, and suddenly it becomes a totally different race to get at the front. But this is one of those guys who's very quiet, very easy on the car, and saves stuff till the end. And Chris Davis, I've watched him do very well in a lot of races that you'd never expect.
I'm showing, I'm looking at lap times now. Christopher Davis just put down a 31.3, basically the equivalent of what Justin Michael just put down, 31.3 as well as the leader of the race. So unfortunately 23 seconds off the lead of Justin Michael, but running just as well here. Put a few laps together. Looking at, let's call it, and 14 to go.
Yep. 14:15 to go. Justin Michael opened up a 5.5 second lead, of Wesley Holland. So Wesley Holland is sitting back there, used a lot of tire up, probably hoping for a caution. Watching Justin Michael kind of control this race now that Jeffrey Merck finds himself with a lot of damage after that last accident.
You know what I really like about Wesley Holland is he's a guy, again, we talk about guys who can put together a race start to finish. We talk about aggression and just smart moves, lack of mistakes, somebody who knows the limitations of the car, the driver, the team at any given weekend, somebody who's there week after week, top 5. Wesley Holland, I can guarantee, I'll put money on it, that he's going to be there in the championship hunt.
Yeah, that's another safe bet. You guys are always picking the easy ones.
I've learned over my years to take the safe bets. Maddie knows, I've done a lot of betting in my life.
To a fault.
Take the safe bets.
He doesn't take any of the safe bets.
Wes Holland isn't losing that much time against Justin Michael, losing about a tenth a lap, which isn't bad. But obviously, he needs to gain more than a tenth a lap to run that leader back down. And then another 5 seconds behind Wesley Holland, he got the number 7 car of Greg Mall, having a great night tonight. About 10 seconds off the lead, and then behind him got Christopher Howell in that 88 car, or as my time in scoring would say, the 306. And then in 5th place, my pick, kind of having a decent night. He's actually been running faster times than the leader, because last time I looked, he was 14 seconds behind. Rob Hayes now finds himself 13.7 seconds behind the lead.
Yeah, 31.9 compared to Justin Michael's 32 flat. Give it to the beer store. Toyota Camry, Rob Hayes.
I'm going to tell you, tonight's been a night of attrition, not so much for the cars, right? They got wrecked, but for tire laps. When you look at the spreadsheet through the evening, there's been comers and goers, like we always talk about, but tonight has been the most consistent fast laps, just like it always is. However, not all of them are the fastest. You got a lot of really, really good drivers that got taken out early and whatnot. And then you got, in the top 10, you got a lot of drivers that are really good, but very consistent. That consistency seems to be the breaker.
Yeah, definitely. I'm back up here, Justin Michael. He's going around the double zero car of James Brown. Just got by the inside there. Almost had contact as we got 10 to go. 9 to go as he crosses the stripe this time by. Trying to set sail on this field, hoping that it stays green. Kind of in control of this race, provided we can keep it caution free.
Who picked Justin Michael tonight?
I wonder. Maybe he'll run out of fuel or something.
You at the 11th hour picked it, but let's keep going. Keep the broadcast going.
Who can we talk about that we haven't talked about? Charlie, Christopher Davis, Jeff Gilmore, James Brown, Billy Bumgarner, John Henderson running in 12th, and Brian Abbott back there. How about Brian Abbott running in 13th on the lead lap? Started 34th. I think we talked about him as a big mover early on in the race, right? Right now he's up 20 spots.
Not the Abbott run we'd expect, but a very good run nonetheless.
He's also
Abbott's
on fresh
usually
tires.
top 10.
He's on fresh tires compared to everybody else too, if you remember. So he's running down. He's probably running down, trying to hope to get a top 10 out of this, which he might be able to pull off. Right now we got 9 cars on the lead lap, so he's chasing down James Brown, which is a few seconds ahead of him there.
Yeah, from Stockbridge, Georgia. So I gotta believe that this is one of his hometown tracks. Gonna make a good result tonight.
Back up front, it's still Justin Michael, now 6 seconds ahead of Wesley Holland. And then another 4 seconds back, Greg Mall behind Wesley Holland. Actually, Wesley Holland's been slipping back. Greg Mall's been slowly running down Wesley Holland, it looks like, in that 7 car.
Yeah, last time by 31-1 for Greg Mall, 32-1 for Greg Mall, and a 32-2 for Wesley Holland. So about a tenth of a second faster, but 4 seconds down, 6 laps to go. I don't think the math adds up.
Yeah, the best race that I'm watching right now is actually back to Greg Mall and Christopher Howell in that 88 car. Both those guys The 88 car has been just back there on his back bumper. Now taking a peek to the inside, that 7 car, as we're coming to 5 to go here. Finally going to make that move. And that's kind of what I was thinking. He was back there saving tires, being patient. Nobody else he can really race. Going to try to get this done here. Can't quite get the momentum off the corner. Looks like Greg Mall's going to hold on to it for now.
Yeah, great battle back here. Talk about patience. Christopher Howell, I think we've seen him run behind Greg Mall the better part of 40 laps now, it seems like. And saving tires. Again, you guys, Maddie and Ken are some of the best at this, so you know how that works. Right, just run behind a guy, save some fuel, save some tires, and wait till 5 to go to make your move. And here he is on the inside, making noises. First race in the Multi-League Series. Christopher Howell on the inside, looking for a podium finish tonight.
Now, Scott, is that the 88 car or 38 car? No, I guess that's the 88.
So what you're seeing, Ken, is it looks like 88 on your screen. We're showing 306 to the fans because he updated
gotcha. You
his
told
paint.
me. You told me. Yeah.
Yeah, he revinyled it during practice. Reckon on the back.
01 car, yeah.
We have
John Pantula. We're still green.
Still green.
Let's get this spun around. Got loose. Hit that inside retaining wall. No safer barrier there, so that obviously hurt.
Let's
That
do a
car's
really
smoking.
wide
we're
replay here. John Pantula by himself here off of turn 2. This is a replay. We're not live right now in that Pepsi car. Chevy, big hard hit.
We're coming to the flag here, I believe.
There we are, back with the leader. 3 to go across the stripe. Justin Michael in front by 6.5 seconds. Behind is Wesley Holland in the second spot. Wow, big distance there.
Yeah, this has been Justin Michael's race. Since we lost Jeffrey Mark, he's been able to just control this field ever since, and just been stretching it out, stretching those legs out in that Beretta 87 car as he comes to the line for the white flag.
Greg Mall and Chris Howell, they have not figured this out yet. Plenty of time to go, plenty of moves to make. Watch them.
You say plenty of time, Matt, but I'm looking at the white flag there in the top left corner.
They got 4 times moves to make.
4 times. There's looking at the high side. Christopher on the outside. See if you can make something happen on the momentum. Woo. Down the backstretch here. Big run down the backstretch. Dives to the inside. Christopher Howell.
Slide job.
Give it to him. Let's go. Contact. Oh, Greg Mall saves it.
Oh,
Talk about some wheeling to the finish line. This reminds me of Bobby the Bonnie Dillon days. Give it to
Great
Greg
Well, that was
Mall.
a good race there for
Great
third.
job, boys.
But Justin Michael wins this race in dominating second half of this race. He crosses the line first. Wesley Holland in second. Greg Mall and Christopher Howell, 3rd and 4th respectively. You watch that great battle. And then Rob Haynes wraps out the top 5.
Yeah, Charlie Widner in 6th. Christopher Davis 7th. Jeff Gilmore 8th. Billy Bumgarner. That's off to Billy Bumgarner. And James 00 Brown rounding out the top 10 here. We'll get to the rest of the results here in a couple minutes. As we watch Justin Michael burn it down here on the front stretch. Donuts in the Beretta Toyota Camry. Man. Heck of a race.
I don't see a scratch on that car either there, Scott. Perfect drive for him tonight.
That is, as one of his teammates, Greg Mall, in that 7 Miller Fortune car, comes to the front stretch to meet him with his podium finish as well. Let's see if we can get these guys up here to chat with them in about 30 seconds here once I find them.
Yeah, good luck. That's quite a list you got to go through tonight.
I know, I got Justin. Let's see, I got Greg. Anybody see Wes anybody?
I didn't see Wes last week either. I don't see Wes in here tonight. We don't have radio communication yet.
My daughter is killing me. I gotta jump off real quick.
All right, Maddie, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
One of the owners
Thanks,
of Stone River
guys.
Outfitters.
Great job tonight. Awesome race. I gotta jump off and do some business deals.
Yeah, all right. You have a good one.
All right, we'll talk to you next week, Maddie.
Thanks for
we
hanging
are
out
with
with us.
let's go with our race winner, Justin Michael. We saw the donuts on the front stretch, dominating fashion. I gotta hand it to you. My pick all night, 1.5 mile track. My bet, if I were a betting man, which I am, My pick's Justin Michael. How'd that race look out for you there with the all night there, dominating out front?
I tell you, I thought we made the wrong call there early on, hitting. I don't know, second caution lap, around lap 13 or so. And I don't know, we were 15th or so, and I thought that was the wrong call, and I thought we were done for. And I don't know, just the longer you drove the car, the better it got. First 10, 15 laps were junk, and then it just really came around after that. And I was just surprised to get back up through there.
Yeah, how was it, speaking of that pit strategy early on, how worried were you when we saw you guys, I think you and Greg maybe, some of the Bandit guys, pitting early on, going a lap down? You got that lap back quick to get back on the lead lap to kind of relieve some of that stress, but how stressed were you in those couple laps there that maybe some cautions would come out? Ended up turning green, but were you worried there in that first third of the race?
They pitted earlier than I did. I stretched it to empty because I was afraid of yellow coming out during pit stops because of how this thing handles. So I was trying to stretch it as long as I could, and I was actually very surprised that I stayed in front of the guys that pitted 5 or 6 laps before me. I expected to be 4 or 5 seconds behind and run them down, and we were 3 seconds ahead of them. I could have ran another couple laps and been fine.
All right, certainly a great run by the Beretta Toyota Camry. Justin Michael from West Virginia. Appreciate you. I think, let me look at my notes here. Points leader, I'm sure going to extend that points leader over Kyle Chadwick, who unfortunately, truck, maybe he was that trailer that went through the tunnel yesterday and tore the top off the trailer, but he didn't make it to the racetrack today. So I'm sure going to extend the points lead here on race number 5. So congrats on your first place run here. And anybody you want to thank for this week?
Just everybody out there watching, my friend Darren out there watching again as always. And I know it's been a tough couple of weeks with a lot of yellows and a lot of races I've been running, but hopefully it was an enjoyable race. And Patent Paints out there for painting this awesome car. We definitely appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Justin. And yeah, it was awesome to have a green flag. That was a fun race, Ken. And Ken Huber's up here with me in the booth. And that was a fun race to call. I've seen some green flag racing and talk about pit strategy and tire management and lap times and gaps. And so hats off to everybody in the field tonight. Yeah. So congrats, Justin. And
Congrats.
We will talk to you next week from Circuit of the Americas. Looks like we're going road racing.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. See you, buddy.
So I was able to dial my radio channels and able to find Wesley Holland. So I was able to get him. Wesley Holland up here in the booth with Scott Patton and myself. Hey, great run on that second place finish tonight in that 41 car. You looked really sharp out there tonight. Although the start of the race, it looked like you were struggling a little bit. How did that race go for you?
I mean, all in all, it was actually a good race. It was fun out there. Yeah, kind of hurt myself there at the beginning when the first caution came, or not the first caution, but the second one when everybody pitted and couldn't see where my pit stall was at. So drove through pit road. Didn't want to go to the back and get stuck in traffic, so just opted to stay in the top 10 and put us off on the pit cycles there. And we never had anything or no other cautions for the rest of the race to reset it. So it was kind of disadvantaged there with like 5-lap old tires, other than what the leaders were there at the end.
Yeah, so we were talking to Justin Michael. What he was saying, and maybe you can verify this, that the car was kind of ugly in the opening laps, but then after you got about 10, 15 laps, the car got smoothed out and got easier to drive and got fast.
Yeah, I mean he's on point with that. It was just really pushy, so much that you had to put so much wheel in it that it would snap loose on exit. So yeah, first 5 or 6 laps there, it was kind of edgy coming off the turns, but once you got some heat in the tires, it leveled out and worked pretty good there on the high side at the end. So, I mean, I felt like it was a fast machine.
Yeah, so I imagine probably by the end of that race, you're kind of probably hoping for a last-minute caution to kind of get a shot at it. But still, a second-place finish, great night on the night. So what do you got for us next week?
Oh, it's COTA? Yeah, I'll be in the barrier somewhere. I mean, never been all that great at road courses. I'm just happy when I finish them. So hopefully just keep all the tires on the track and finish where I finish.
I don't know. I remember you finishing the second time or two here against me even. So I don't think you're that much of a slouch on the road courses.
Yeah, it depends. I find a way every once in a while to stay clean and keep it on track. But we'll see. A lot of practice this week for sure.
All right. Well, congrats on that second place finish. You got anybody you want to thank tonight?
Just my buddies over there, Bad Apple, guys that come out here on Monday nights with me and have somebody to talk to there and come out here and compete. And you guys up in the broadcast booth putting this on for us, appreciate it. Scott's taking off the year, I guess, to come up here and do this for us, so we appreciate it. And yeah, Kim for putting the league on, having a night every night of the week to race. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. Well, see you next week.
Appreciate it, Kim. We'll see you.
As we cue things up, we're going to go to see how my button
That
skills
7
are.
car.
7 car of Greg Mall tonight, rounding out the podium in that Miller Fortune Ford Mustang. Awesome run for you tonight. How was it running up there with most of your Bandit Motorsports guys until one of them, sorry, the cough, got in a little trouble there mowing the grass on the front stretch. But how was it? Fuel mileage, tire strategy? Talk about your race from start to finish here.
Yeah, Scott, it was definitely a good sight to see that most of the Bandit guys did qualify up front there at the start. So was just kind of content with running around there during the first run of the race, and had a couple cautions early there, and kind of made our bed in terms of strategy, in terms of staying out there on that second caution, and didn't quite have enough fuel like the rest of those guys did to kind of go a little bit further for the first set of green flag pit stops got started. So just tried to just mind our own business and just keep hitting our marks. And later on during the run, it was just, I don't know, I was seeing more and more guys behind me just starting to get more and more runs the closer they were up towards the top. And I think I just started realizing that about halfway through the second run there, and finally found some decent speed there, especially in 1 and 2, and just had to fend off there with Chris and I battling for third there at the end. That was a tense, whatever it was, 20 or 25 laps there, just trying to hit the seams just right and not get loose off the edge of 2, especially because that was definitely a problem spot for a lot of people tonight. So definitely glad to bring it home third.
Yeah, that was an awesome battle. We concentrated on that one, coming to the checkered flag. You and Chris Howell, which we welcome to the league. I think this is his first race with Multi-League Series. So awesome job on Chris down in the Bandit Motorsports TeamSpeak anyway for the 4th place finish. But let's talk about the lanes, different lanes. You said you tried something different here, and how was it searching around? We saw the low lane look like it was dominant early in the race, but did you see that develop throughout the race, or was it pretty much kind of a mid-lane track the whole way? We saw a couple guys run all the way against the wall as well. Did you find yourself up there at all tonight?
Yeah, definitely was interested to see how, especially the track would transition throughout the race. I think starting the race, we were at maybe a track temp of 103, maybe 105, and then surprised to see that the track actually ended up cooling off as the race progressed, and instead of going the other direction that I thought it was going to. So I don't know if that was helping it out in terms of people staying towards the top and retaining a little bit more speed, especially coming out of 2. But I can't imagine that it hurt, especially. So like I said, during the transition of the race, I was finding myself keeping going further and further up towards the wall, but not quite run that top lane, but just kind of hovering over that top scene, if you will. So seemed to work out pretty well.
Yeah, certainly. And next week we're going to Circuit of the Americas. I'm looking at the point standings right now. We're showing P38. I think you missed a couple of the races. You were kind of a late joiner to the Multi-League Series here. We appreciate that, and certainly looking for some more competition later this week or later this year from you, certainly. But what do you got going to Circuit of the Americas as we look to improve our points position going forward?
Just, I don't know. It's going to be, I think a lot of people have that circled on the calendar for sure. Just not really sure what to expect, with this new car, and no real data, if you will, to kind of work off of with this new car on road courses. So got to expect that there's going to be quite a few practice servers going up during the week. If not, we're definitely going to try and run some laps just to try and get a feel for shift marks and breaking points and all that good stuff, because yeah, definitely a good opportunity to make up some points for sure during that race. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sure. That's a race that's certainly guaranteed to be green from start to finish, as we know there's no yellows on the road courses. So I almost looked at those when I was racing last year as sort of, like you said, points gainer, right? Where I could just kind of get in my groove, put the practice time, the hours in during the week, and watch it pay off on the weekend, as we know it's going to stay green from start to finish. So Awesome job. Looking forward to seeing you in those practices during the week. And I'm going to look up some data myself as a broadcaster and see what these cars are doing, see what lap times are doing, and see how the cars are handling, get some notes for next week. Looking forward to that. Anybody want to thank for the podium finish, solid finish here, P3 at Atlanta?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I gotta thank all the friends and family back home that are watching all their support. This was definitely an interesting race, and just to be in the conversation in the top 5, first top 5 of the season, and without any incidents, that's definitely a great factor to be a part of. And all the guys down in Bandit, like you said, just running good, and it's a great group of guys to be with. That we keep pushing each other to find that extra 10th here and there on the track. So got to give those guys a shout out, and of course got to thank you, Scott, and all you guys up here at the booth. This is fun to watch all these broadcasts. So.
And it's fun for us to broadcast for sure. And tonight was probably one of the most fun races I've had in a while from a broadcast standpoint. So appreciate the green flag racing, appreciate the run, appreciate the competition, and we're looking forward to talking to you maybe next week from Circuit of the Americas. Congrats, Greg Mall.
Yeah, congrats there, Greg, on that podium finish. Great job.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, there we have it. Ken Huber, what do you think about tonight's race? Saw a ton of action, side-by-side racing for extended periods of time, and a lot of strategy, tire strategy, fuel strategy, a couple of wrecks, not bringing out the green flag, which is kind of refreshing to see. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but we had a blast up here in the booth.
Yeah, definitely. This was one of the better broadcasts, being able to broadcast this race. Thinking about strategy, if you remember the past few races, we've been dealing with cautions late in the race. We go green in the first half, and then it'd be caution filled after. We kind of switched it up this round, and we were able to just do green flag racing, seeing how things were shaking out. It was awesome to watch tonight.
That it was. Let's take a look at our results real quick. We talked about Justin Michael, Wesley Holland, Greg Mall, Christopher Howell, first race in that 306 car. Rob Haynes rounding up top 5, Charlie Winder, Christopher Davis, Jeff Gilmore, Billy Bumgarner, great run for him, top 10 finish here from Charlotte, North Carolina. James 00 Brown finishing in 10th. And let's see if we got 11th, John Henderson, Brian Abbott 12th, Greg Wellen 13th, Jack Watts 14th, Bill Paradise, couple laps, looks like 2 laps down from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Jason Hughes, tough night in that SRX Bad Apple Racing 58 Chevy. Josh R. Scott, Willie Tierheimer, Loretta Lakes from Michigan, and Michael Milfa Jr. rounding up the top 20. Do you have other results?
I don't have all the results at the moment.
All right, we'll keep going. 21st, Robert Mattis, John Pansula. We talked about him several times tonight. David Schreck had trouble early on in that wreck. I think he was caught up in that wreck from the start, 8 laps down in that 9 car. Jeffrey Mark, tough break, mowing the grass a couple times tonight. And Brian Bazell in the 18 car. Ken Richardson, 26th. Eric Talent, 27th. Trent Drum, 28th. Mark Billen in 29th. And Heath Smith, 30th. And we're talking about James Haney, 31st. Vernon Margheim with tough.
Vernon Margheim all the way back there. Wow,
yeah.
Tough night for him.
Yeah, tough night for him. I think he was caught on that incident as well, right on the start of the race, 96 laps down. So tough break for him. Rob Mitten in the 92 car, JJ Garrett 79, Brandon Dorsett in that 19, rounding out the field here. 35 cars in the multi-league series. Well,
we
that's
mentioned
about a
it earlier. We mentioned it earlier. Next week is COTA, highly technical, Scott, as you know. Highly technical track, and they're going to be doing this in brand new cars.
That is true. The notebooks are clean. Give it to the entire field is going in with the exact same experience level. So looking forward to that. I'm sure it's going to pay off for guys like Greg Mall, who's already talked about putting the practice hours in during the week. And Justin Michael, I'm sure we're going to see up there another good road racer. I'm just looking down the standings here. I think of Christopher Davis, somebody who can stay out of trouble on a race that can stay green from start to finish. Maybe let me see here. Who else?
Definitely Christopher Davis. I'm looking down through here the list too. I expect to see Christopher Davis running up front. Just looking through. Vernon Margheim is pretty consistent on the road courses. Don't normally see him leading, but yeah, we're going to have a good race next week. And being that it's all green, these guys are going to have to be on top of their game.
Yeah, certainly. You know what? On my standings here in 36th place, I think he did not start the race tonight. We got to talk about the Dart, Mike Erder. Talk about a road racer. You have more road racing experience than I do. of all time, Ken. I know that because of your road racing series.
Yeah.
But talk about Mike Erder as a solid road racer, right? He's
Definitely,
a
yep.
threat next week.
If he's going to be in that race, he'll be a threat.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see Mike running this week. That track on his own time, just putting laps together, see if he wants to run it. And if he does, how fast he can go, which would mean certain death for a lot of people. But that'll be an interesting story during the week.
Yeah, even if he doesn't put in laps, I've been in several races with Mike Erder where he's like, "Oh, where's the pit road entry?" You know, like he has no experience on it. And then the green flag drops, and
your pants are on the floor, and you're like, "What the F is going on?"
I gotta tell you, Matt, with all the races that you've hosted with Krankenstein Racing and whatnot, I honestly, honest to God, I would base my night on how I finished compared to Mike Erder. If he was in sight, I knew I had a fantastic night. And if I knew I was a lap down to him, I knew I had a terrible night. But it was always, I knew on the start, right, there were guys that were blazing fast that there was no chance I could keep up with. But Mike Erder was kind of like, maybe I could keep up with him, and I always kind of gauge my night off of Mike Erder. So talk about Mr. Consistent. I'm looking for him to be,
We'll talk about that guy. He is fast everywhere. Not necessarily the fastest, but he is always a process during the track you're running. And with the group of guys we got now and the Monday night, Tuesday, pick a series. There's a fair mix of guys that are really fast, but Mike would be that one that would bust everybody if we went to it.
There you hear it. Right from here from Multi-League Racing Network. Appreciate everybody's time and hope you enjoyed the broadcast from myself, Ken Huber, Matt LaVenture. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And have a great week. Stay safe, everybody.